kind of league is debuting this year. Your favorite Rocket League stars and some new faces put it all on the line in order to win the championship.
You can cut the tension with a knife. It really is so close on both sides of the field.
Join the league as a player. Get recruited. Get paid for your efforts and drive your team to glory. Or how about buying a team? Put together the ultimate roster and trade your way to success. You can tune into our shows on Twitch and control what happens next on the Slips platform. It's all happening this year, and we're giving away 50,000 SLCC tokens and a $700 million airdrop. Join us. Check out slips.gg for more information.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first edition of Slips Team News. I am GJ, the artist that will be bringing you all the news from the wonderful world of Slips. Thank you very much for coming on this lovely evening. Now, we have a couple of news we have a couple topics to discuss, to bring to you, as well as an update on the run-up to the upcoming Slips Rocket League tournament that is set to begin in mid-March. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, first up, the update itself. Now, big thank you to the folks who made the music, and we can show off the, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, we have the leaderboards up and running. We have, now, unless I am mistaken, we have a grand total of 18 players. This is a bit out of date, ladies and gentlemen. 18 teams, because one of them has left the tourney. Now, remember, the top 16 teams are the ones who will take part in the tourney itself. So we got 18 teams vying for those top 16 spots. Now, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the two topics of discussion. Things that, from what I remember from the past few days, the Slips world has been on fire in terms of tourney action. Scrims aplenty, lots of banter, all that good stuff. But there has been some rumblings scattered about here and there. Two in particular come to mind, both of which involve a team that is a veteran team of the Slips Rocket League scene, Slips tourney scene, Nebula Esports. For one thing, Nebula, until recently, had a captain by the name of Gren. That changed when Gren saw fit to leave his post as captain, allowing fellow Nebula player Alcatraz to take on the role of captain in his place. It is unknown how this will affect their performance in the scrim matches and tourney matches to come, should they make it to the tourney. I, for one, am very interested to see how Alcatraz, in particular, handles the leadership role. Now, regarding Nebula, another bit of rumblings concerning them. Recently, there was a scrim match featuring aerial strikers taking on Nebula Esports. And while it is true that aerial strikers did lose the match, the result might be in dispute, as claims have been made that Nebula had apparently fielded an ineligible player during the match. Now, this dispute, like all others, will be handled appropriately by Slips admins. Now, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make the switch over to an interview between myself and another Slips Rocket League tournament player representing Air 2020. It is A20 Animal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my esteemed pleasure to bring you a member of Air 2020. It's A20 Animal. Animal, thank you very much for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. Now, Air 2020 is one of the numerous teams who are vying for the top 16 spots in the Slips Rocket League tournament. The tournament is set to begin on March 14th and 15th, and 7 p.m. Eastern, last I checked. Now, regarding that tournament, Animal, let's go into a little bit about you. How the heck did you and the rest of Air 2020 meet?
Um, well, Stevie, one of the higher up players in my team, we actually met through a game in it of Rocket League, and we matched up against each other a couple times, and we decided to add each other, and found we actually had friends in common. So, and then Jay and he was one of Stevie's IRL friends, and he was a higher rank, so we found slips, and we just decided to play.
Nice. Nice. It's amazing how a combination of in-game encounters and real-life friendships can bring a team together.
Yeah.
Now, I've got another question. What about your history with Rocket League? How did you get your start? How did you start? What got you to play Rocket League in the first place? Is what I'm trying to ask.
I was more like before I even got a PC, I had a laptop, but before even that, I had a PS4. So in around 20, I don't know, 2016, 2017, I had one of them, and one of my friends tried to get me to get it because we used to play a bunch of Call of Duty and such like that, but he found this game more calming and a side game.
Well, a few years. We got a seasoned veteran here in terms of experience. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very, very nice. Now, Animal, in your personal opinion, how well do you think your team is gonna play in the tournament? How far do you think they're going to progress through the tournament? Do you think they're gonna win the whole thing, for example?
I mean, there's always a chance, but I do think that I mean, we've faced against MK2 a couple times, and I don't think they're, the best group out there. But I do think, uh, not no shade, no shade. But we have um, beat them a couple times. I do think that last tournament we were kind of placed bad, and we didn't have enough time to warm up. That was just our thing. That was our problem with that one. So we got eliminated instantly. But I think this one will do a lot better.
Yes, yes. I for one am looking forward to seeing how well your team plays in the scrims to come, and hopefully the tournament itself.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Now, okay. Now I believe I have time for one more question here. Yes.
Alright.
This will be an interesting question because it concerns Salt. What was your saltiest moment in Rocket League? Within reason. We are recording here, so
Well, I don't know. Saltiest moment, probably. I mean, my last game to get GC. I think it was like 15-10, something like that. I got placed with a 1320 MMR player, and he kind of threw a lot. We got placed against 1600s, so higher ranked GCs, and we got absolutely obliterated. So yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in the comms of that fiasco.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was not good.
I feel. All jokes aside, I get what you're saying. You're close to getting to a milestone, and you're playing with team, and then you find out that one of the teammates decides to throw a match, and you basically have to 2v3 it.
Yeah.
Ugh, not fun.
Nope, not at all.
Yes, well, at any rate, thank you all. No, thank you very much for coming. I truly appreciate it, and thank you all
Yeah.
so much for watching this interview. Anyways, that'll be it. Thank you very much for your time. See you
Thank
guys
you
next
very
time.
much for your time.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming. Now, on that note, take note. Slips Team News will be a daily thing on a regular schedule. I am personally shooting for 8 o'clock, but this is a new show, so we're experimenting here. I will see you guys again tomorrow for the next bit of news in the Slips world. Thank you again for showing up. Seeing you guys then. Take care and play well.